Hey everyone, I've been seeing this Skytech Gaming King 95 desktop PC pop up all over my feed lately, and after digging into what it actually delivers, I get why it's getting so much attention. It's packing some serious hardware for the price, so I figured it's worth a closer look. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the heart of this machine is the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. That 3D V-cache really makes a difference in gaming, and with boost clocks hitting 5.0 GHz, it keeps up even when you're running a bunch of background apps. I've been running Cyberpunk 2077 on it with RT Overdrive maxed out and it still stays smooth, no frame drops even during the most intense scenes. If you're the kind of person who likes to stream while you play, this CPU handles both without breaking a sweat. Now, the graphics card is where things get really interesting. The AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT with 16GB of GDDR6 is no slouch. I tested it with Starfield at 1440p Ultra and it averaged around 100 FPS, which is exactly what you'd want for a high refresh monitor. The card also has DisplayPort 2.1, so if you're rocking a newer high refresh 4K display, it's ready to take full advantage. Plus, the 16GB of VRAM means you can keep textures maxed out without worrying about running out of memory, even in open-world games. Storage is another big win here. The 1TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD is fast enough that you won't notice any load times, whether you're booting up Windows or jumping into a game. I've got a ton of games installed and the system still boots in under 10 seconds. If you ever need more space, there's an extra M.2 slot, so upgrading later is a breeze. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM is also future-proof, plenty for multitasking, heavy workloads, or just keeping a bunch of Chrome tabs open without slowdowns. The case itself is a showstopper. The Skytech King 95 is all black with a massive 360mm ARGB AIO cooler up front, so it looks as good as it performs. The tempered glass panels let you show off those RGB lights, and the airflow is solid thanks to the mesh front panel. It's also got a 850W gold PSU, which is more than enough for this build and leaves room for future upgrades. I love that it comes with Wi-Fi built in, so you don't have to worry about running Ethernet cables everywhere. One thing I really appreciate is that this PC ships with Windows 11 and no bloatware. You're not stuck with a bunch of pre-installed junk slowing things down. It's ready to go right out of the box, which is a nice touch if you're not into the hassle of clean installs. The graphic output options include HDMI, DisplayPort, and USB-C, so it's compatible with pretty much any monitor or TV you might have. Now, no PC is perfect, so let's talk about a couple of things to keep in mind. The case is big, it's a full tower, so it's not going to fit on a tiny desk. Make sure you've got the space for it. Also, while the RX 9070 XT is a great card, if you're heavily invested in NVIDIA's ecosystem for features like DLSS or specific ray tracing optimizations, you might want to double-check compatibility with your favorite games. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth considering. Overall, this Skytech Gaming King 95 is a solid choice if you want a high-end gaming PC that doesn't require you to build it yourself. It's got the power to handle modern games at high settings, the cooling to keep it running smoothly, and the looks to make it a centerpiece in your setup. If you're in the market for a pre-built that won't hold you back, this one's definitely worth a closer look. You can find all the details in the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Skytech Gaming King 95 desktop PC, Ryzen 7 7800X 3D 4.2 GHz 5 GHz AMD RX 9070 XT 16GB, 1TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD, 32GB DDR5 RAM 5600 RGB, 850W Gold PSU, 360mm ARGB AIO, Wi-Fi, Win 11 sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D 4.2 GHz, 5.0 GHz turbo boost, CPU processor, and AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT 16GB GDDR6 graphics card, brand may vary, actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after that. First few days of excitement were off.